Now let's have a look at the grid. This is based on race 2 from yesterday with the top 8 reversed. So in 8th place in race 2 was Neil Yates, and he takes pole position. Teammate Stephen Powell will be alongside him. Second row, Tom O'Rourke, number 86 now. We initially said he got the win in the race earlier this morning, but Ryan Smith's 5-second penalty has now been rescinded, so Ryan Smith was the winner earlier today. He starts on row 3 of the grid for this one, though, because this based on yesterday's second race. Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler, row 2. Michael Oliver, Ryan Smith, row 3. Fourth row, David Jenkins and race 2 winner Stuart Oliver. And then completing the top 10, David Smith and Martin Gibson. Beyond that, we've got number 6, John Powell should line up next, alongside 61, Sami Oyanen. Then Archie Handy and Simon Cole from Division 2. Adam Bintz had problems yesterday with the Mercedes. Then Jake Evans, the number 10. Hopefully we'll see Bradley Harvey back out for this one. Yes, I can see his truck in position there. He missed the restarted race earlier this morning. Callum Eason alongside him, and Graham Poole, treble 3, will round out the grid. So after one of the best truck races I've ever seen earlier on today, with Ryan Smith reinstated to victory, the only person I think frustrated at that will be Tom O'Rourke after winning on the road. Well, Ryan Smith won on the road, then it was taken off him, then it was given back to him, if you see what I mean. Been a fair few penalties this weekend, we have to say. Afternoon to Hannah Fulcher. Her father, Andrew Fulcher, an ex-truck racer, as I mentioned yesterday. Hi to Tim Morgan, Ethan Dance, John Wilkins, Andrew Miller-Swan, and everybody else. Quick hello to Alison Sharratt as well. Her and her family used to be marshals down at Pembrey. Of course, the trucks go to Pembrey in May. Looking at the calendar for the British Truck Racing Championship before we get this race underway. We go to Pembrey in mid-May down in South Wales. We go to Thruxton the beginning of July. Then it's Donington Park in August for Convoy in the Park, the big truck show. We're at Snetterton in September. The week after that, it's the visit to Le Mans on the Bugatti circuit. And then here at Brands Hatch on November the 1st and 2nd for the bonfire weekend, the championship finals and the biggest firework display you will ever see. Waiting for the trucks to get into line. They've come out there not in grid order, so we're getting them into line now. It will be an all Neil Yates recovery front row of the grid. Stephen Powell will be alongside him after those problems in race 3 this morning, race 3 of the weekend that is. He's got a few points to make up for. And they're going to have a bit of a problem lining them up here because they've come out not in grid order. Good to see David Jenkins is back out there. They've repaired his radiator after that contact with John Bowler at the start of today. Truck races to go today. Last of them coming up around 4:15. El Toro 66 says, is it Thruxton or Truxton? I'm liking that. Hi to Nathan Short. Says, happy Easter to everybody on BARC TV. Hi to Elena Virauska, who will be marshalling at Pembrey and Thruxton at the trucks. Hi to Mugsley as well, hoping to come to the truck meeting here at Brands in November. Having a bit of trouble getting them into line at the moment because it's not very easy for trucks to overtake and line up on the grid here. There's not much room on the Brabham Straight to get trucks side by side. So Ryan Smith's got his win back. He's got 2 wins this weekend. That will mean he starts 8th for race 5 later on, because the race this morning sets the grid for the last race. It's Jake Evans, 2 wins in Division 2 yesterday. Simon Cole this morning, finally breaking his duck. He's taken a few wins in seasons gone by with his old Mercedes, but that was the first win for his Iveco. Where is Stephen Powell going? He's not having more problems, is he? He's supposed to be lining up on the front row. Whether Stephen Powell's hit trouble again here. We hadn't got Tom O'Rourke on the grid walk, but he's on his way out. I just heard his truck leaving the paddock. There he is, in the background on Cooper Straight. So why Tom O'Rourke was not out there on the grid walk, obviously some sort of repair going on in the paddock. You're late, Tom. If you brought a note for the clerk of the course. Second row is Michael Oliver. Second row will be Tom O'Rourke, sorry, alongside John Bowler. Michael Oliver on row 3 alongside Ryan Smith. Not too sure what the problem is here for Stephen Powell, who's pulled up next to the pace truck. So we've now got to get Tom O'Rourke through onto the second row. Is there enough of a gap for him to squeeze through there? Can you get through those last pair? Only just. Now he's going to try and parallel park it between Neil Yates and Michael Oliver. He should be next to John Bowler. We need to move John forward next to him. This is like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? I thought we were going to see him try and parallel park. I've never seen a race truck parallel park before. Some work going on Stephen Powell's truck, so there may be another slight delay here. It's at the bottom left. Michael Oliver's had a few scrapes this week, and you can see a bit of bodywork missing from the left front corner of his truck. Ryan Smith will line up alongside him. Fair play to David Jenkins' team for getting the MAN back out. Stuart Oliver will line up next to him. Then we'll have David Smith, Martin Gibson. And the leading Division 2 runner on the grid should be should have been Sami Oyanen, but I don't think he's there. Should have been behind Martin Gibson. No, I don't think the Sisu is there. No, he's absent. So that's Simon Cole behind Martin Gibson. So he and Archie Handy are going to head up the Division 2 grid, ahead of Adam Bintz in Division 1. He's further back after problems yesterday. Jake Evans is there. Bradley Harvey's back out. Callum Eason and Graham Poole. So the grid is a little bit out of order to what we've got on the grid sheet in front of us at the moment. There's a conference taking place down there in front of Stephen Powell's truck to try and determine what's going on. Hopefully either Ian or Pointy can find out what's going on for us there. Well, the marshals have got the gate open next to the starting rostrum there, but the truck isn't going to fit through that. If they're going to remove it from the grid, they'll have to take it through the pit lane exit. Isu Welsh lad who says looking forward to attending Pembrey in May. Splash Damage asked, do you get training to be a marshal? As the Peterbilt coming in to pick up Stephen Powell's truck, unfortunately. But to become a marshal, yes, you can apply to the British Motorsport Marshals Club. Look online for marshals.co.uk or via the BARC website, barc.net. And you can attend a taster day at a motorsport event around the UK and see everything from behind the scenes, and can be trained as a marshal if you want to volunteer at any circuits around the country. We're always on the lookout for new volunteer marshals, so anyone is welcome to have a go. Stephen Powell, unfortunately, with further problems. It's not been his weekend at all. And the Mick Gould Peterbilt is being brought in. We'll take him back to the paddock, I think. Still cannot believe the size of that Peterbilt. It's more than twice the length of a race truck. We think it may be a clutch failure for Stephen Powell, unfortunately. Oh, we're told it's a steering problem. We've just been reported from down there. That's why he's up against the wall there. That's why he's having to be towed off. Sami Ojanen, as you mentioned, won't be out for this race either. Stephen Powell being towed off then. I hope Lexi doesn't get the blame. Lexi's had the better results so far this weekend, unfortunately for Steve, in her Saxo. And as we heard during the grid walk, we'll hopefully see Lexi Powell on the truck racing grid in the next couple of years when she's old enough. Been plenty of female truck races over the years. You mentioned Joanne Easton earlier on. The likes of Heather Bailey, Pauline Stewart, Minna Korpala from Finland. Most famous of all was Davina Galitsa, the former Olympic skier. She went on to briefly race Formula One cars as well in the British Formula One series, the Aurora AFX series, and did try to qualify for the British Grand Prix on one occasion, but didn't make it past qualifying. There's also Kaz Garnett, who raced alongside her husband Brian. As we mentioned yesterday, Brian sadly passed away during the winter. They used to race the BFL, British Fuels Limited truck. So I think it was Kaz Garnett who rolled one of those trucks here at Brands Hatch at Clearways many years ago. That's a Brandon Carr cheering on Callum Easton. Jonathan Baker says good luck Neil Yates. Apologies for the delay here while Stephen Powell's truck is worked on. Something in the steering has broken there, so just using the Peterbilt to lift it so the crew can check it underneath. It may have to be towed back to the paddock though. I think I'm just attaching the towing arm there. Hi to the Cyber Salvager. Says hello from Oxfordshire. First time I've watched truck racing online. I remember going to watch it at Silverstone back in the 1980s. Hi to Steve and Tracy West. They're watching in Ramsgate, not far from Brands, down here in Kent. It's not a particularly warm day here at Brands Hatch, unfortunately. But certainly not as warm as yesterday. Stephen Powell's truck is stretchered off. Wonder what lap time that Peterbilt would do around Brands Hatch. Plenty of attractions at trackside to keep the fans busy during the delay. We've got some show trucks on display. Monster truck rides as well. I rode in one of the passenger carrying monster trucks at Northampton Stock Car Stadium a few years ago. Certainly better than any roller coaster I've been on. Let's see plenty of families here. There are the monster trucks. PG Sweepers with a display of their vehicles as well. Could have done with one of them perhaps when David Jenkins dropped coolant everywhere earlier on. Nice Porsche GT3 RS in the spectator area, an MX-5 as well. Our cameraman up on the top of the hospitality suites has been vehicle spotting. Just at the back of this shot, the other side of those Armco barriers where the cars are parked, that's where the Rallycross course used to be at Brands Hatch. Just waiting for the recovery vehicles to be back in position, and then we'll get this fourth race underway for the British Truck Racing Championship. Yeah, looks like they are off and rolling. There goes the pace truck. GT Tyres MAN. This will be a 15-minute race. Neil Yates on his own on the front row in the number 33. Can he take his first truck racing win? Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler on row 2. Michael Oliver and Ryan Smith next. And of course, Ryan Smith and David Jenkins, the top two in the championship, have that extra air restrictor on their turbocharger. It does limit the power, certainly on the start of the race. The truck's running at lower revs. There's John Powell, not yet in his new DAF. We'll hopefully see that out at Pembrey. Alan Eason at the back, along with Graham Poole, one of our newcomers. And a few spins so far this weekend, just learning the truck, learning the track and learning the sport. Ryan Smith will be the man to beat again here, starting from the outside of row 3. Stuart Oliver immediately behind him. Hindsight they make as the pace truck leads them round. Race 4 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Neil Yates alone on the front row. To give John Bowler an opportunity to get down the outside into Paddock Bend for the first time. Leading Division 2 on the grid is Simon Cole, looking for his second win of the day. Pace truck about to head into pit road. Can anyone stop Ryan Smith making it 3 wins for the weekend? He's there on the outside of row 3 alongside Michael Oliver. Here they come then, the revs beginning to rise, ready to rumble once again with the British Truck Racing Championship on opening weekend here at Brands Hatch. Power comes on and away they go, and straight away John Bowler gets up onto the outside of Neil Yates, using that empty space where Stephen Powell should have been. He's going to try and go round the outside of Yates at Paddock Hill Bend. They're all getting through okay behind. It's up towards Druids, who's going to have the lead. Looks like Bowler has done it around the outside. John Bowler takes the lead in truck number 14, just about gets the truck stopped to get into Druids. Tom O'Rourke following him around the outside, 3 wide behind. Ryan Smith in the middle of the two Olivers, Michael and Stewart. He's in 4th place. O'Rourke up the inside. He's going to take Neil Yates, who's hung out to dry around the outside. Ryan Smith could get through as well. Everybody else making their way almost single file through Graham Hill Bend. Archie Handy was side by side with Callum Eason. It's Bowler that leads. Yep, Neil Yates is still stuck out on that wide line. He goes over the grass. He could lose out to Michael Oliver here in the number 12. They lean on each other through clearways, with Neil Yates getting a bit sideways as he was in the earlier race. They sort themselves out around the opening lap then. John Bowler with the lead in truck number 14. Across the line they come. 2nd place is O'Rourke. Ryan Smith in 3rd. Neil Yates is down to 5th position behind Michael Oliver. Into paddock they go for the 2nd time. Who's leading Division 2? Let's look further back. It looks like it is Simon Cole in the number 41. Ryan Smith on the inside, the two bonneted trucks together. He doesn't manage to get the line away from Tom O'Rourke. Michael Oliver is in 4th position. Then Stuart Oliver's 5th. Neil Yates is sliding back further down the order because David Jenkins has come through now. Jenkins, his championship hopes, have already taken a bit of a dent in that no score in race 3. When he had that contact with John Bowler and lost his radiator. Behind Jenkins, it is Neil Yates now. Stuart Oliver a bit out of shape there through Surtees. Behind Yates is Martin Gibson. Then we've got David Smith, the number 11. I think he'll be on pole for race 5 later on. I think he was 8th in the race this morning, if memory serves me right. We'll have a look at that a little later. Ryan Smith, windscreen wiper going there. Is it spitting with rain again? John Bowler continues to set the pace in number 14, the man from Stockport in Cheshire. MAN leads, International 2nd, Daimler 3rd, MAN in 4th place. That is Michael Oliver. Volvo in 5th position. Through Druids they go once again. This race is developing a similar pattern to the race this morning, isn't it? One truck getting away in front, Tom O'Rourke 2nd, everybody else lining up behind him. Here's Simon Cole, he's leading Division 2, the man from Dartford. It's ahead of John Powell, that's a Division 1 truck, as is that of Adam Binks, just running in his new Mercedes this weekend. And Ryan Smith lunges for the inside of Tom O'Rourke. There's contact between the two of them. They both go out wide. Michael Oliver's going to try and get past both of them. Oliver trying to go for 2nd place, and Smith cuts across and takes P2. Into Paddock Hill Bend they come. The Olivers 3rd and 4th. Smith up to 2nd. John Bowler has built up a gap though out in front. He leads by over 2.5 seconds now. Stuart Oliver's got the fastest lap in 4th place. 59.727. David Jenkins closing on O'Rourke now. There's Neil Yates in behind in the 33. Eleven minutes of this race to go. Now the lead gap was 2.62 seconds. Let's see what it is this time through. Neil Yates kicking up some dust further back. It's down to 1 point throw. He's halved the lead, Ryan Smith. Well, the new air restrictor rules have been brought in, but if anything, Ryan Smith seems even quicker. The inside there, that's one of the Team Oliver trucks. That's Martin Gibson moving past Neil Yates, I think that was, up into P7. David Smith in that battle as well. It's only taken him less than a lap now, Ryan Smith, and he's already caught John Bowler. Up to Surtees. The question of when, not if. Bowler holds the inside line. Can get him on the straight, I think. Yeah, he goes to the inside. Up the inside as they come onto the Sir Jack Brabham straights. They think it's all over. It is now. Bowler fighting back though. They're side by side into Paddock. Smith's got the inside line. And he's surely going to take the lead into Druids, or maybe even before then. Yes, he's done it. Only a third of the way through. Said it wouldn't take him long. Stuart Oliver still there in 4th place. Son Michael ahead of him. Tom O'Rourke still running well in 5th. Have a look back at Division 2 on the timing screen. Yeah, Simon Cole still leading Division 2. He's 12th. Jake Evans is up to 2nd. And Bradley Harvey is 3rd, making up for lost points because he failed to start this morning's race. Failed to take the restart, I should say. There are Division 2 runners. There is Cole, just behind his old Division 2 rival Adam Bince. Iveco leads the category. Iveco did win Division 2 a few years ago in the hands of Craig Reed. Iveco Stralis. Across the line he goes. Simon Cole is in 11th place in the overall classification. This is the battle for 2nd overall. John Bowler under attack from the Olivers. Michael leading the attack. Bowler moves across there. Cuts the nose off the number 12. That's Graham Poole. That's why they moved across, because Graham Poole was being lapped. Michael Oliver to the inside. He's seen a gap there on the inside of the 14. He might get him on the straight, same as Ryan Smith got up the inside for the lead. Bowler tries to cut across. There isn't quite room there, I don't think, but Oliver keeps his foot in. He's down the inside. Bit of dust being kicked up. Yeah, Bowler's run a bit wide there. This is Michael Oliver's opportunity to take 2nd place away. They're stacking up behind these two. Now look, there's O'Rourke on the outside. Michael Oliver goes through, and he's taken 2nd. Now, can John Bowler defend from Stuart Oliver? Excuse me, says Stuart. We've seen rather a lot of argy-bargy so far this weekend. We saw some side-to-side contact yesterday, and there's some more. Tom O'Rourke and David Jenkins clash. Martin Gibson says, thanks very much, I'll get past the both of you. And the red flag is coming out. There's a cloud of dust in the background. We've got a red flag. Somebody is off somewhere. So the race is being stopped. Now, who has gone off? I could see some dust in the background there on the run up to Druids. So whether that's where it is, we will wait and see. We were just coming past half distance in that race. Now we can see in the background there a big cloud of dust. Somebody has gone off at the top end of the circuit. We'll establish that in a moment. Okay, the red flag's out, an incident at the top end of the circuit. We were just after half distance, so we'll bring you news as soon as we can. Well, we're under the red flags here at Brands Hatch in our fourth truck race of the day. An incident up towards Druids Bend. That's all we can tell you at the moment. We'll bring you further updates when we are able. We are being told on the timing screen that as the race had just gone past half distance, it will not be restarted. So this race will not be restarted. Result will be confirmed in due course. As I say, the red flag out's due to an incident up at the exit of paddock up towards Druids, and we will update you further as soon as we are able. Well, I can tell you, we can now show you that the incident was a rollover for treble 3 Graham Poole, but after being checked by the medical staff, we can see he is climbing out of what's left of the treble 3 truck. Thankfully, Graham appears to be okay. Yeah, thumbs up from Graham as he climbs out, being assisted out of the truck with the step ladder there. A lucky escape there for Graham. So we can now confirm that Graham is okay. But that is very much the end of his weekend. And full credit to all the safety systems in the treble 3 MAN. Now we'll see what happens. Watch the background. There is Graham Poole. He just goes straight on paddock. The truck digs into the gravel and over it went. Spectacular incident. Thankfully, Graham Poole appears to be okay. It does show how tough these race trucks are. All the safety systems in there have done their job, the roll cages and the crash helmets, HANS devices and so on that are worn by the drivers worked as they should. And thankfully, Graham is okay. Nasty looking incident there. And now the wreckage will be cleared. Let's take a look back at some highlights of our fourth truck race of the weekend. Start of the race, John Bowler made a great getaway down the outside, so did Ryan Smith. It was Bowler who took the lead on the run up into Druids. Ryan Smith quickly able to slot in behind Neil Yates, and Tom O'Rourke making a good run round the outside as well. Neil Yates seems to be having some handling issues with the 33 truck, and he would drop back down the order. He got rather railroaded backwards there on the outside line, with Ryan Smith and the Olivers coming through fairly quickly. Tom O'Rourke holding second place ahead of Ryan Smith initially. Ryan then diving up the inside at Clearways. A robust move, certainly, to take second place. More shredded bodywork for Tom O'Rourke. Further back in the order, the Division 2s are battling it out with Callum Easton having a good go at Bradley Harvey as well. A bit of rubbing in this race, has to be said. The Olivers got through on John Bowler, then David Jenkins got caught up with Tom O'Rourke. Martin Gibson went speeding past both of them, but then the red flags came out as Graham Poole, one of our newcomers, lost it going through Paddock Hill Bend straight into the gravel trap. And the truck, as it went round sideways, dug in and wallop straight over. I think Graham was okay, but because of the damage to the cab, he was unable to get out. So that was why he had to be assisted out of the truck. And now the wreckage will have to be cleared.